Hey, welcome back to the Road to the Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. This is a video series chronicling my progress as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army for a Song of Ice and Fire. And really, the point of this video series is to show the progress that one can achieve using a fairly efficient method like Slapchop, painting about 1 hour a day. So, something I want to point out is that it's currently the end of July, and the event is January 10th and 11th. So, we're talking about 5 months away from now. If you're planning on getting ready for an event, you do want to give yourself lots of time in advance. I'm right now painting at a pretty leisurely pace, I should say. But you don't want to be rushing yourself and struggling at the last second and putting in, all-nighters, which I've done before, painting an army up. So always try to give yourself lots of headway. Plan out how much you want to get done. If you've got, let's say, a month, be like, what's my goal after a week? What's my goal after 2 weeks? Where do I want to be? And it's also nice as a result when you don't have a tournament coming up or an event to push you to paint, just to start painting, because you don't want to be put in a position where you don't have a lot of time left in case you weren't aware that you only had 2 or 3 weeks, for example. So just finding the time every day to paint a little bit, you'll be, again, pleasantly surprised by the progress you make. So let's still take a look where I'm at and what's my goal for today. So this is where we're at today, picking up from last session. So last session I did all the yellow, the gray, and some of the tabard, which I did with an off-white color, Skeleton Horde. And today the goal is to get the browns done, I imagine. Now I know that I painted the facial hair on this guy here in the back, the tester, with Wildwood, which is a dark brown color. So maybe I'll do the skin tones first, and then I'll go back with the browns so that I can do the Wildwood all at the same time. So I think that'll be the goal. In an hour's time, can I paint all the skin tone and then all the browns? Browns being the wood of the shaft with Wildwood, and then the straps and the belts and the little straps on the legs there. That'll be done with snakebite leather. So let's start the flesh and see how much time that takes. We got 1 hour starting now. Let's go. And we're back. So about 20 minutes later, I did all the skin tone. Again, I used Crusader Flesh, which is a Army Painter speed paint, but I think Guilliman Flesh from the GW range is a pretty close analog. So yeah, that was 20 minutes. A little bit tricky because you had to get around the hands and stuff, but that step is done. So now onto the browns with 40 minutes to go. I think for sure I can do the Wildwood, and I'm going to do the Wildwood first, I think, because it also does the hair in some of the models. And we'll see if I have time afterwards for the snakebite leather. So on to the wood. So it'll be the wooden shafts, the weapons, and the hair, and the banner. All right, let's go. Ta-da! All right, so the Wildwood brown's been applied onto the shafts, and for 2 out of 3 models, I also did the facial hair. All these guys have mustaches and beards, which are just kind of funny. And like I said, for the duplicates, we're painted the same way. I'm going to paint their hair differently to make them stand out. I'll pick some, white-haired old men, some blondes, some redheads, just to break it up a little bit. So there'll be 3 guys, it looks like, in the middle there who will have different hair colors. Otherwise, everybody else is going to have dark brown hair. I did the shaft of the banner as well. So that was about 20 minutes, like 18 minutes and change. I don't think I have enough time in the last 10 minutes to do the brown for the snakebite leather across the straps, because there's a lot of specific lines, like the strap going across the chest and the belts, that requires some precision. So I'm thinking about just painting the banner and maybe doing the weapons with a flat metal. That should not take too much time at all, and I'll save the snakebite leather bits, like the straps along the calves and the belts and the rolls and stuff like that, and the pouches, for next session instead. So we'll do the banner with a bright yellow, we'll do the metal, and we'll be back in hopefully about 10 minutes. See you soon. Okay, we are done for this session. So I put on what yellow is it? It's I think Imperial Fist yellow onto the banner. Honestly, I don't really love it. I thought about maybe using the Skeleton Horde that the front tabards have for the Bannerman and these guys have instead, just because I don't really like introducing new colors. But the banner is a focal point, so I don't mind that it's a bit brighter. I just don't kind of love the way it looks right now. However, after the brown oil wash, it's going to dirty up. Maybe I'll like it then. And if it doesn't look good, I can still repaint it. I also thought, since this is a very raggedy peasant banner, you can see it's stitched together from like different pieces, maybe I could paint each piece a different color. If I was to do that, maybe I would choose different colors than what I have here to make it stand out. The Brotherhood Without Banners thematically come from different houses, Starks, Baratheons, etc. So maybe I'll choose those house colors to be on the banner, but we'll see. Yeah, not loving the banner entirely. We'll see how it comes out after the oil wash. Otherwise, I went back in and did the metal on the blades, and I actually went over time by about 5 minutes because I noticed that the tip of the hook blade here was also wood and not cloth. So I went back and did that. Also, I had to spend a little bit more time to do the metal on the banner bits as well. So the metal is drying or almost dried. When I log off here, I'll probably go back with a null and oil wash. So again, going a bit over time, maybe spend an hour, 10 minutes a day painting. But again, it's nice to get certain steps completely done on all the figures. So the next session, I think all I really have to do is the snakebite leather on the leather bits, and the hair, of course, on those 3 models in the middle row there. They all need different hairstyles. And then we have the oil wash, basing, and done. So this is the 5th session. 6th session will probably be it for painting, and then 7th session for the oil wash, and then 8th session maybe for the basing. So let's wrap it up there. So we are done for the day, I think. 5 hours of painting, and the tray is looking pretty complete. I'm pretty happy with the progress. Again, just a few sessions ago they were brown, and now they're almost done. And again, I think the key is just being steady and putting a little bit of time every day. I know that's hard for a lot of people with families and kids and jobs, etc. I'm a bit blessed right now in that I am off for the summer and I can find the time during the day to paint for an hour. But even when I was working, I always made time for myself, either in the morning before I went to work, or when I came home, I would just get a coffee, sit down, and paint. But just, doesn't matter how much time you put in. Again, I'm saying an hour. If you can put in half an hour, 15 minutes, if you just say, of these 12 miniatures or whatever, I'm going to paint 3 of them with the green, 3 of them with the yellow, something like that. Just steps, chug, 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 just a few steps at a time, eventually get your destination. And the nice thing about finishing also, of course, is that when you're done painting a unit, it's more or less done forever. It's done, it's in the collection, and you can move on to the next project. You don't have to come back and paint these peasants. They are finished, and that's also a very satisfying feeling. So again, if you're working on something, if you're being inspired to paint, please comment below and tell me what you're working on, what you've been doing, what you have made as progress. And again, if you have any friends or who are struggling to paint as well or need some tips, please share the video with them and let them know about this series, and maybe they'll get inspired to get some painting done and we can all have beautiful armies on the tabletop. So thanks for watching, and until the next episode, see you next time. Bye bye.